November has once again fallen upon us, and thus the November cycle starts once again. The picturesque landscape of autumn turns into a gray wash covered in muddy puddles filled with leaves. The bowl filled with Halloween candy, which should have lasted until like the 15th, is barren, and a new Call of Duty game is released. However, this time around, Sledgehammer has taken command and brings us something a little different. Unlike Black Ops 2's tentative toe dip into futurism, Advanced Warfare dives in with both feet in the somewhat distant future. It avoids all pretense of being a loose metaphor for current geopolitical struggles and instead turns unabashedly to the sci-fi. Thanks to an ever-expanding arsenal of high-tech fantasy gadgets and vehicles, this is the series at the apex of feeling like a gritty G.I. Joe reboot. The major future prompts are the exosuits, advanced exoskeletons that can turn any soldier into a superhuman. These suits enhance natural abilities, letting a normal person rip open metal or lift heavy objects, while also granting special abilities like a grappling rope or boost jump. Completing mission objectives grants points to upgrade your suit with small perks like extra armor or grenades. The exosuit is modular, letting soldiers equip up to 3 abilities depending on the mission type. This is a double-edged sword for the Call of Duty stage design. The abilities are catered to each stage, which lets Sledgehammer iterate with a variety of traversal and combat scenarios. However, it does reinforce the criticism that Call of Duty is set on a narrow path, since the constant switching prevented us from feeling like we were really learning the abilities and adapting our own creative solutions. Even if the series is dropping current events, the story is still passably related to a subject that we've seen in the news: private military corporations. Following a botched Marines mission that kills your best friend, you are recruited by his father, Jonathan Irons, played by Kevin Spacey. Irons owns Atlas, a private military contractor organization with funding far beyond the US military. As a member of Atlas, you intervene in global conflicts as the company rises to prominence as the go-to military for hire in the world community. Most of your efforts are focused against a terrorist known as Hades, who aims to destroy technology and send society back to a more primal state. Your friend's death does lead to an interesting moment in which you're asked to hold a button to pay respects. It's hard to fault Call of Duty for this, but it was a cold reminder of how limited these games are. In the middle of a game that has honed a perfect gameplay metaphor for war and killing, the act of grieving is relegated to a button prompt. It's not the fault of Advanced Warfare that the medium is so underdeveloped in that area, but the juxtaposition was striking. Irons is played by Spacey in every sense of the word, from vocal performance to very impressive facial capture. He brings all of his gravitas and polished smarm to the role. Though the story takes a rather obvious turn, Spacey's performance went a long way towards selling the emotional stakes of his decisions. Call of Duty's multiplayer could often be seen playing it safe year after year, even in the face of its competitors taking chances with the multiplayer combat that this franchise helped make famous. COD's various developers seemed content to rest on their laurels. This year, Sledgehammer Games chose to push the series' long-standing multiplayer formula forward. The result is the freshest the multiplayer has felt in years, and shows what Call of Duty is still capable of when its developers put forth the effort. One of Advanced Warfare's most notable multiplayer additions is the PIC-13 system, building upon the PIC-10 system from the Black Ops series. This allows players to further customize their loadouts to suit their playstyle, while allowing enough versatility to cover their shortcomings. Customization options are such that nobody in Advanced Warfare should feel truly outmatched, and it's accessible enough for anyone to jump in for an extended period. Movement in Advanced Warfare feels far more fluid than in years past. Many of COD's standard movements, such as sliding and vaulting, remain in place. But the Exo abilities grant some interesting movement options, especially with the addition of boost moves. Boost Jump in particular is an example of how something fairly common can add so much to a game. Advanced Warfare's multiplayer is a case of better late than never. Maps with dynamic events, open vertical areas, and a robust creative soldier system have been among the items of COD fans' wishlists for years. Sledgehammer has answered these pleas pretty effectively, creating a multiplayer experience that still holds the enticing charm while adding enough trinkets to further tighten its addictive grip. We here at Shacknews give Call of Duty Advanced Warfare an 8 out of 10. In many ways, Advanced Warfare is another series reboot. While it lacks the sheer audacity of Modern Warfare's approach that shook up the shooter genre, it is staking a claim as its own part in Activision's ongoing Call of Duty arsenal. After analyzation that had led to a seeming sense of complacency, Sledgehammer has joined with the best entries in years. To get the full-depth review of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and for all of your gaming needs, be sure to head over to Shacknews.com.